The CDC is out with new guidance urging those who are pregnant to get vaccinated as soon as possible. The agency found it does not increase the chances of a miscarriage. This comes as the U.S. averages more than 113,000 daily COVID cases, and those patients include pregnant people and new moms who have not gotten the shot. Janet Shamlian reports from Houston.
As hospitals across the country fill with the unvaccinated, doctors in some hotspots are reporting an alarming rise in pregnant COVID patients.
They're more likely to be hospitalized, more likely to need care in an intensive care unit, more likely to have to be on a ventilator, and more likely to die.
Dr. Denise Jamieson is chair of gynecology and obstetrics at Emory University. She's concerned about low rates of vaccination among those who are pregnant. Only 23% of pregnant people in the U.S. are vaccinated. The CDC Wednesday updated its guidance for them and others trying to become pregnant, citing growing evidence that the benefits of receiving a COVID-19 vaccine outweigh any known or potential risks of vaccination during pregnancy. And the vaccine does not increase risk of miscarriage. It's a change from earlier guidance, some called ambiguous, which simply suggested vaccinations.
I understand that pregnant persons sometimes are afraid of vaccines and other interventions, but I'm afraid of what this virus is doing.
It's information Jamal Chubb wishes he and wife Sierra had sooner. She was hospitalized with COVID in late July while 38 weeks pregnant.
Sierra did not get the vaccine. Why?
For us, it was because she didn't know enough, and she didn't feel confident when it came to giving the vaccine that it wouldn't hurt our child.
Doctors decided to deliver their son Miles by C-section a few days later.
I've explained to my kids that Sierra is sleeping and trying to get better.
Now, the father of 3 is caring for his newborn son, while Sierra is on a ventilator in the ICU, her lungs ravaged by COVID.
How is Sierra doing today?
Doctors are not hopeful. I am, but they're not.
Doctors now say COVID does appear to cause an increased risk of miscarriage and stillbirth. Here at Houston's LBJ Hospital, the emergency room is overwhelmed, so much so they've set up these blue and white tents to handle the overflow. Janet Shamlian, CBS News, Houston.
A new study is suggesting a third dose of a COVID vaccine increases protection for organ transplant recipients. The small Canadian clinical trial enrolled 120 transplant recipients. They were given either a third dose of the Moderna vaccine or a placebo 2 months after their second shot. Researchers found more than half of those who received the additional dose had a high level of antibodies in their blood. That's compared to the 18% of those who were given the placebo. If your child has been vaccinated for COVID-19, you may be wondering if it's okay to ask their friends' families if they are as well. Pediatric psychologists from the Cleveland Clinic say it is acceptable as long as you remain respectful. They say if your child is invited to a home with unvaccinated people and you're uncomfortable with that, don't lecture them. They say if you have a specific reason for concern, like an elderly relative, you could share that. And parents should be mindful of how they're explaining to their child why they can't go to a friend's